On you guys, it's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, and I have such a spicy deck recipe for you today. So this is eliminating a couple deck requests, and at the same time it's something that I've been wanting to test out. I wanted to build this super crazy Fabled deck. I had done some crazy stuff on my Fabled. I just did a Fabled Darkworld build. Then I found out that people had done Fabled Darkworlds before, so I was like, somebody beat me to a punch. So I was kind of sad because I thought I had came up with something, but I didn't come up with nothing, and it kind of hurt me because I was like, dang, you know, I worked so hard for this recipe. So I wanted to change the deck into a build that had not been tried in the OCG or the TCG. Neither have tried this out before. I just want to have as many crazy innovative deck recipes on this channel as possible, because as a Yugioh and also as a team, I want to set my team apart from everybody else. Not saying that there are competition, but I want to set us apart from everybody else in our own category and niche, doing the most crazy, outside of the box, unorthodox deck profiles that you can find on YouTube. So this is a Fabled Darkworld Burning Abyss deck. I just like it because like everything is so beautiful and it works so well together. I used to be a big fan of Fiends. Like, Fiends actually used to be my favorite type, but when I got closer to Jesus, I kind of went away from Fiends and literally just started loving fairies, like loving fairies so much. But without further ado, we're gonna hop right into this deck profile because it is just so spicy. Like, dude, this deck is just lovely. So we're playing 3 copies of Fabled Grimro. Grimro is basically the Stratos of the Fabled archetype. So I'm not playing the Obedient School build. I'm just playing the Fiends, actually the Fiends, and not much of the Beasts. So Grimro just basically says if you control a face-up Fabled monster aside from herself, you can discard this card and add any Fabled monster from your deck to your hand. So what Fableds and Darkworlds both do together is they discard, which kind of helps both of them together to basically play on the same turn. You can play both your engines. So there are actually little combos that you can perform. For example, with this next card, Fabled Cruise, you can discard her with one of your with one of your Darkworld cards and trigger her effect, and at the same time getting that search. For example, you can get that search off of Snow, Unlight of the Darkworld, and search for Darkworld Dealings and activate Darkworld Dealings, discard Cruise's effect. So Fabled Darkworld actually works a lot better than pure Fableds and also pure Darkworlds, because Darkworlds don't really have extra deck plays, and Fableds give you all kinds of extra deck plays, increase your ceiling, and also produce combos that just Darkworlds can't do. Darkworlds really just like draw, you know, draw, and then kind of just like discard, set, pass. That was it. It was just like really boring. So I love the way Fabled Darkworlds work together. Now, Cruise effect, whenever she's discarded to the graveyard, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Fabled monster. So you can just discard her, whether it's a Darkworld, whether it's a Fabled effect, whether it's Gates of the Darkworld, or it's Fabled, the Fabled, what's his name, Raven. Like, you just get her effect off immediately. She has to be discarded, though, so just keep that in mind. But Darkworlds and Fableds, both their archetypes revolve around those effects, discard effects. So it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. And we're also playing 3 copies of Fabled Chawa. Chawa is like the only beast I play aside from, yeah, Ganashia himself. Now, Chawa, during your main phase, you could discard a Fabled monster to special summon this card. Chawa combos off so well with Cruise, because you can, for example, if you have a Fabled, you discard Grimro to search for your Cruise or your Chawa, so you can have one or the other. As long as you have one of these, for example, if you have Chawa, then you're going to discard Grimro, search Cruise. Activate Chawa by discarding Cruise, special Chawa, Cruise's effect, special Grimro, then you'll synchro into Fabled Raijin and draw 2 cards. Just pretty cool. Just nutty combos where you could just discard and keep drawing and keep drawing and keep drawing and keep drawing. So 3 copies of Fabled Chawa. And then the MVP of the Fabled monsters, but I only have 2 copies of this card. I want 3, and I also want secret rares. Fabled Raijin. Fabled Raiden actually brings all the archetypes together off of one play. Once per turn, you can discard any number of cards. This card will gain 400 attack for each card discarded, and his level is increased by 1. So if you discard 2 cards, he's a level 4 now, and he's at 2100 attack. So it's pretty cool. He has a great effect, and it's not a cost. It's very important to play cards that aren't a cost, because the Darkworlds themselves have to be discarded by card effect. If they're discarded by cost, they don't activate. It's true. It's been a ruling for so long. You just have to keep that in mind. So Fabled Raven helps out a lot because he is not a cost. and he discards any cards. So you can discard your Burning Abyss monsters. For example, you can discard your Skarm and discard another Darkworld card and trigger their effects. Skarm on invades, whatever it is. What's his name? Brow Draw, Snow Search, or get Grapha to pop. It's just so clutch. So he helps out a lot. And although I don't have 3 of him, that's why I'm not playing 3. I do have 5 of him because I played 3 Grimrel. So we're playing 5 Ravens. We're also playing 2 copies of Ganashia. Whenever Ganashia is discarded, you just special summon him back from the graveyard and he's at 1800 attack. He is a level 3, which helps you actually to go into your rank 3 place to make your Dante. He's also a free summon for you to synchro summon if you want to. And he also is just a free monster on field for you to link summon for your proxy dragon. So Ganashia is pretty impressive. I like him a lot, just at 2 though. Sorry guys, I am sick. And then Fabled Kushano. Now Kushano's effect, if he's in the graveyard, you could discard a Fabled monster to your graveyard to add this card from your graveyard to your hand. It's not once per turn either. So he's one of the best Fabled to discard because he gets himself back. He's also a level 3 Fiend. Keep that in mind. That's very important because you can summon him off of your tour guide. You don't get to synchro summon with him. I know that tour guide cannot, the monster can't be used for synchro material. But the most important thing is you XYZ with him, get him engraved so you can immediately use his effect. Alright, and I'm checking something out here. So that was some of the Fable cards themselves. It's pretty hefty. I play more Fables than I play anything else. The Darkworlds and the Burning Abyss kind of act like engines to support the Fables. But for the most part, in the forefront, this is a Fabled deck. Kushano is amazing, by the way. Just really, really amazing. Like, if you have a Cruise, you can literally discard Cruise from your hand to add Kushano back, right? And then Cruise's effect kicks in. And then you can special summon Ganashia from your graveyard. Then you can normal summon Kushano, overlay those, bam, instant Dante off of one card Dante. That's just one of the numerous combos you can do with your Fabled Kushano. So the Fabled lineup is pretty hefty, but the Fableds are the most important monsters of the deck, and they are one of the oldest archetypes in Hidden Arsenal, because I believe they're Hidden Arsenal, yeah, 1 and 2. So they're pretty old, and I am a Hidden Arsenal advocate. Like, I play Gem Knights, Gishkis, Evil Swarms, Lavals, Constellars. I don't play Vylons, never got the deck, but I always wanted to. I play Fables. I play Worms, like the Reptile Flip Effects, and Kawaki Maros. They're not related to Hidden Arsenal, but they're from the same era and the same, basically, lore, dual terminal lore. Now for the Darkworlds themselves, we're playing 3 copies of Grapha, the boss monster of the deck, basically, the main deck beater. You basically can bounce any Darkworld monster from your field back to your hand, and then you special summon this guy from grave. Now, that's so clutch that you get to bounce them back to your hand because you can discard them again for their actual effects. And in more of a pure Darkworld build, you can actually play Gates of the Darkworld. It's a quick play spell that special summons Darkworld's monsters from your graveyard that doesn't have to have a level specifying. And you can do that and then basically like abuse this card even more, or even special summon this card itself back to the graveyard. And he has an effect. He has other effects aside from that. If he's discarded, you can destroy a card on the field. And also, if he's discarded, every Darkworld has 2 effects. If they're discarded by card effect, and then if they're discarded by your opponent's card effect, which like never happens ever, but it's just like a if it does, he can literally special summon a monster from your opponent's hand to your side of the field. So, oh my god, if you discard my Grapha, I'm gonna be so happy. 3 copies of Grapha. 3 copies of Snow. She searches for any Darkworld card. She is the Stratos. So basically, Snow and Grimro are for your consistency. They're your engine cards in the form of monsters. So you have the triple Grimro to get the Fabled engine started. And then you have the triple Snow to get your Darkworld engine started. And remember, any Darkworld card, even Gates of the Darkworld itself. Then we're playing 3 copies of Brow. He's also a level 3 Dark Fiend. Because he's a level 3 Dark Fiend, you can add him from your deck to your hand with your Skarm. So keep that in mind. Everything in this deck synergizes and works together. It's literally just a concoction that I came up with myself. Again, the reason why was because Fabled Darkworld, I did a profile for Fabled Darkworld like 7 months ago. And I had learned, one of my subscribers said, I'm sorry to, you know, burst your bubble, dude, but this deck's already been tried before. And I was like, oh, really? Okay, well, I'm about to change it up and make it into a more innovative build than no one's done. So that was the main reason. It was like a matter of pride. Then it ended up being like this crazy, super fun, spicy deck. But Brow, if he's discarded, you get to draw a card. And where's the one for your opponent? Now, he doesn't have one if he's discarded by your opponent. It literally, Wait, oh no, I'm sorry, he does one. They all have one, I'm sorry. And if he's discarded by your opponent's card effect, you get to draw another card. So basically, you'll draw 2 cards if he's ever discarded by your opponent's card. But when you use him yourself, for example, when you play Darkworld Dealings, draw a card, discard him, you'll draw another card, so it's free. So he does let you plus sometimes. You can plus with him when you have your Fabled Valkyries, for example, because Valkyries lets you discard a Fiend to draw a card, and you'll discard him, draw, then his effect kicks in to draw another one. So Brow's pretty cool. He's just more draw power, like the deck didn't need it. I mean, it really didn't need it. So the 9 Darkworld monsters. Keep in mind, I'm not playing Brainwashing. I do have it. I picked up like so many copies of it from Coda the Duelist, but I'm just not playing enough Darkworlds for it to be relevant. So no, I'm not saying the card's bad. I'm just saying that I'm not playing it. And then for the Burning Abyss, it's a very small engine. We're playing 3 Skarms, 1 Libic, 1 Sir, and also 1 Tour Guide. Tour Guide really does bring the deck together because you can special summon your Kushano, as I was saying, get Kushano in the graveyard by detaching, and then trigger other effects. Like if you open with Tour Guide, you're going to be able to link summon. You don't even have to use Tour Guide and the actual monster for your proxy. You can go into, for example, a Dante, detaching your Kushano, effect, mill 3, and then activate Kushano, discarding another Fable, pull off another combo, Proxy Dragon, bam, and then activate Gates, for example. Oh, like you have so many cool combos in this deck, it's crazy. Skarm is the most important of all the Burning Abyss monsters because Brow's a level 3 Dark Fiend, so it searches for your Darkworld engine. She also kickstarts your engine for the Burning Abyss. So she's just the most important card for the Burning Abyss lineup. I am playing Libic because I'm playing like 5 Burning Abyss, so you know, just in case you run into that problem where it's like, okay, I want to control a Burning Abyss, but I don't want it to be destroyed by its own effect, you'll activate Libit's effect, you know, engrave. If it's engrave, summon a Burning Abyss and its effects are negated, so you can special summon any monsters that aren't Burning Abyss and it will not be destroyed. That is my reason for playing the Libic, and also I'm playing Sir to special summon my Dantes from the graveyard and have Dante in the main monster zone. So Sir's pretty clutch, and of course Tour Guide's amazing. That sums up the monster lineup. It's monster heavy because almost all your combos revolve around the monsters. The spells are basically just draw power and ways to combo off and kickstart engines. So we're playing 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, 3 copies of the Darkworld Dealings. This spell is amazing. You can discard a Burning Abyss, discard a Fable, discard a Darkworld. Either way, you're going to get some kind of effect triggered off of this. So every time I resolve my Snow's effect, I'm going to be searching for this. Sometimes I might use Snow to search for Gates, but for the most part, I just go for Darkworld Dealings because it just kickstarts so many different things at once. And this is not a meta deck, so, you know, we're not going to sit here and say, oh, what if your opponent draws a good card? This is not a deck you want to play, you know, at a regional level event, but you can take it to your locals and see how you do. It's just more or less like me breathing life into a rogue deck. Again, I'm always doing this. I'm trying to, like, make decks that aren't good again, like how Donald Trump says, make America great again. That's what I'm trying to do with Yu-Gi-Oh! 3 copies of Drag Down to the Grave. I kind of have love-hate with this spell, but it really does help a lot. And when you have a handful of Darkworlds, it kind of doesn't matter if your opponent sees it. It's just like, okay, you know what I have, now pick one. But basically, Drag Down to the Grave is one of those nasty, nasty cards. This is what made people hate Darkworld so much, because when you resolve Drag Down, both players reveal their hands to each other, and then we both discard 1 random card from each other's hand. Not random, we pick it. We pick it, it's not random. Then we draw a card after. So it really does help this deck a lot because everything has synergy engraved when you discard it. But it hurts your opponent because you can discard their diagram, you can discard their masterpiece, you can discard their barrage, you can discard their Trickstar light stage, their field spell. Like, there's just so many different cards you can hit. I can go on and on and on and, like, name every good deck and every good card in it. You could discard their Ash, whatever. Like, if they're going to Ash this, then Ash it, dude. But if not, I'm going to discard your Ash. So it's just such a great spell because it doesn't hurt you, but it hurts your opponent, and it helps you out a lot. Also, playing this going first, when you play this going first, you automatically know what deck you're playing against. So it's kind of like a really, really annoying mind crush, you can say. And 3 copies of the Gates of the Dark World. This also brings everything together. It's such a flexible field spell because it works for any fiends, and all the monsters I play are fiends. You literally banish a fiend, discard a fiend, draw a card. So what happens is you banish a monster you don't need, activate a monster's effect. Any fiend you discard except for Tour Guide herself will get its effect engrave. You can discard Sir's effect to special, discard Skarm's effect to search, discard Brow effect to draw, discard Snow's search, discard Graph Up Pop. Dude, I can go on and on and on. Activate effect, and then you get to draw. So sometimes you will plus off of this. And giving 300 additional attack to all of your fiends does help you to beat down and also to attack over Masterpiece, which is pretty cool. Keep that stuff in mind, because you can like Graph Up Pop the Diagram and then attack over Masterpiece because Diagram is no longer protecting him. 41 card main deck. Yes, it's 41. Shoot me. 1 copy of Fabled Leviathan. 1 copy of Fabled Valkyrius. Basically the boss monsters of the Fabled archetype. Leviathan's pretty cool. If she's destroyed, you can add 3 Fabled monsters from your graveyard to your hand. So she basically brings back a whole combo. So I like her a lot. She's like their boss. And then Valkyrius, once per turn, you can discard a Fiend type and draw a card. Any Fiend type monster. Any Fiend type monster. Matter of fact, I have like a bunch of extra stuff. Like I have an extra Valkyrius. And I have like other synchros that I wanted to play, but I had to make room for like the Burning Abyss and then the Link. So I was playing this card at 2 because he's so broken. But the MVP of the Fabled synchros is definitely Raijin. If this card synchro summon, you can draw cards until you have 2 cards in your hand. So the way this deck plays is you discard, 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 you know, set your spells, right? Set all of your spells. Now you have no cards in your hand. Set your allures, set your Darkworld dealings, set your gates in your field spell zone. You know, set all your spells, activate your monster effects, then synchro summon for him, draw 2 fresh cards, then flip your Darkworld dealings that you set, flip your Lord Darkness, and keep going. So he's really, really clutch. And because he's a level 5, he helps you to synchro climb. Like you sync for him, he's a level 5. Then Kushano, sync for 8, go to Valkyrius, then draw again. It's just really, really cool. And the final Fabled monster is actually the beast himself, Fabled Unicorn. If you make this guy the right way, because you're allowed to discard your opponent's cards from his hand, basically, if we both have the same number of cards in our hand, your opponent can activate anything and he'll negate it automatically with no cost, 0 cost. As long as both players have the same number of cards in their hand, Unicorn can negate anything. Spell trap monster, doesn't matter. Effect, it doesn't matter. He negates everything. So he's like one of those cards, if you drop him at the right time, he'll just be a thorn in your opponent's side. Like almost like Hero to Perfection for free. So that sums up the Fabled lineup. And for generic synchros, I'm only playing 2, Yazi and Stardust Charge Warrior. I could be playing the TCG Hyper Librarian, but because we're in Link format and I'm only playing Proxy Dragons, it's just like you don't get enough value out of him. You would have to have like a Firewall Dragon with 3 arrows and synchro summon 3 times. Like, you just have to find some way to abuse him, but he's not that good right now. So I'm playing Stardust Charge Warrior in his place because he basically... You can synchro summon for your Fabled Raijin, draw 2, and then like if you drew into, for example, Fabled, what's his name, Chawa, you can normal that, synchro again for level 6, and then draw again. So it just helps you to keep drawing. And basically what you want to do with this deck is start with the small synchro. If you can't make Proxy Dragon or you don't want to, you start with the small synchro, use this effect, synchro to a higher synchro, use this effect, then sync higher. Basically you synchro climb, like you go 5, 6, and then 8, and then finally Leviathan. Like that's how I do it. I just use the 1 extra monster zone, just synchro summoning with 1 synchro monster in a tuner, getting higher levels, higher levels, higher levels. If it makes sense, I hope it does, because I really did explain it right. And then for the XYZs, we're playing 2 Dantes, not 3. It's not pure Burning Abyss, so you don't really need 3. It doesn't come up a lot. We're also playing Beatrice because it has came up so many times where I'm like, I made Dante. I can make Dante with like no Burning Abyss monsters. Like I can make them with Kushano in the Ganashia, like where you literally, like I explained to you guys, it's like a 1-card combo. Like you have Kushano in your graveyard. Where's Kushano at? I'm gonna pull him out right now. So let's say you have Ganashia in hand, right, and Kushano in graveyard. You can literally discard Ganashia to add Kushano back. Ganashia special summons itself. Then you normal summon Kushano. Make a free 1-card, not a free, but make a 1-card Dante. And then, like, you have Burning Abysses in your hand, right? Like, you can either special summon those depending on the number you have, or you can just discard 1 and then make your Beatrice. And, of course, since I'm playing Beatrice, I play her targets, which are Virgil and Big Dante. You can actually synchro summon for Virgil. I should have kept him with my other synchros because he is a generic. He requires a tuner and a non-tuner, but I kind of have him here with the Burning Abysses just, like, to be organized. But he's another generic level 6. You can discard, obviously, a Burning Abyss card. Shuffle a card from the field to the deck. Doesn't target, doesn't destroy. And if this guy, if he goes away, then you get to draw a card. So he lets you draw even more. So I should have kind of put him by, like, Stardust Charge Warrior. But the 1 Virgil. So most of the time, you're going to use Beatrice to bring out Big Dante. And then you'll just literally synchro summon for him. So that sums up the Burning Abyss portion of the extra deck. And then 2 Proxy Dragons. because one is not enough. You have so many nutty combos, and then when you want to go for your big pushes where you're going like Dante and then your synchros, like you have to have Proxy Dragon. And it's so easy. Like, I'm glad that Konami made this card. It's just literally 2 monsters. Doesn't have to be effect. It can be normal. Just 2 monsters. And it does not say they cannot be tokens, so I'm not sure how that works. I'm not playing tokens, so we're not going to go there, but just food for thought. Thank you guys so much for watching the deck profile. It's another crazy recipe, and again, this is fulfilling a deck request. People have asked me about Darkworlds and Fabled for a while, and I was like, did they not know I did a deck profile with both? So then I was like, all right, let's do some spice. Let's throw the Burning Abyss in there and see how it works, and it's beautiful. Like, if you guys have seen any of my crazy deck recipes, it was not like oh, I seen somebody do it before. It was literally like I'm going through my tins and extra cards and sleeves and stuff, and I'm like, I wonder if I just put these together, would it work? Then I like test it out and like, oh my god, it works. I have to do a deck profile on it. So thank you guys so much. God bless y'all. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Carthage must be destroyed. Y'all have a wonderful day. Take good care of your families too. Mwah.